leather gloves, the slapping in hands, popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands, pink cotton candy, love on a stick, who's chasing the beer, the trick of the lips, play ball, play ball. Roll up the bases and smack it right over the wall.
Play ball.
Play ball.
Good evening and welcome to Laughter Saves Lives Live. May 1st. Year is flying by, huh?
Yes, it is. May 1st.
Absolutely. Crazy, crazy. So we have our lineup tonight. We got Pat Marone in the house.
How you doing?
Steve Oliva. And we have a lovely guest, Carla Okerson. She's going to come and spend a little bit of time with us.
Am I the new John LaRocchia?
You are.
Yes.
You may not want to be that.
You're probably much funnier than him.
And we have Patty G on the boom mic. There we go.
Can we
So-
shift over a little bit?
We can. Which way?
You want to snuggle up
This way.
You want to
Snuggle
snuggle
up. Patty, one half a
So-
foot.
Oh, okay. Well,
Much
there
better,
we
much
go.
more spread out and
Okay,
democratic.
Steve, that's why we have you as a third wheel,
Right.
and we have
Third
you
wheel,
up, yeah.
it contributes very little, but when he does, it's helpful.
It's just logistics. what
Yes,
I
it
can
is.
tell you.
Yes, it is.
And John is away on assignment again, LaRocchia. He's you never know when he's going to pop up. He might come on. We last week he was hilarious with Patty G's interesting segment about
Yes.
the. We don't even know what he was
Assassination
talking about.
coincidence,
Right. Oh, yes, because it was Patty G's on the mic on the other side of the glass.
On a boom.
On the boom.
Yes.
On the boom.
But so you never know when John will
You
pop
never
up.
know.
And John Santo is not here this week.
Yes, I believe he's got is he coaching? Does he have a big game tonight? He's coaching?
I think so.
Does he
Yeah,
coach? What does he
He
coach?
coaches Little League.
he takes it
okay.
very
Or T-ball.
He takes it very
He
serious.
does. He does the sabermetrics and everything.
Oh, and when you go to a baseball game, he takes it serious too. He's got the glove. He's got the uniform on.
Yes. They've
Great.
yet to ask him to play, but he goes
he's
ready.
very into
He's
the
ready to
mix.
get. He's ready to get into. And he's very angry lately. I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah,
with him.
John,
Is he
you
one
know.
of the coaches that screams at the little kids?
I bet.
You know what?
I would bet
he's
he
one of
does.
those coaches. I'll tell you what I think John is. I think he's one of those coaches that in front of everybody he's so nice, and then when he gets the team into practice, he just berates them.
Like the great
a clear
Santini.
little-
Yes, like the great Santini.
Great Santini.
I wonder if he does
This bogey loves
impersonations
you.
with his kids. You know, does Bobby Bacala as a
Yeah.
coach and Paulie Walnuts.
Yeah,
You know,
Donald Trump with his
yeah,
kids.
yeah, he might.
Or he tells the kid you're doing a great
Guys, you're
impersonation
unbelievable.
of Babe Ruth striking out or something.
Yeah,
you know,
but he's been very angry lately. So maybe the Little League will loosen him up.
He
and
may
hopefully
just-
the team wins today.
You know, the
so.
weather's changing, so maybe that'll bring.
I
it
don't
down.
think he's that angry. I just don't think he likes when random comics drift into shows and come on shows that he's on. And I don't care if
Especially in
they're
New York.
George Wallace or Jerry Seinfeld.
Yes, he was very
It-
upset.
Or
over
Frank
that.
Fiala.
Well,
Exactly.
that would listen. I annoy myself when I show up to my own shows. So
Ooh, and the audience.
And the rest of us.
Don't be so hard on yourself, champ. Don't
So
be
Patty,
so
how
hard
was
on
your
yourself.
week? What do you got going on
It was
this past
I
week?
didn't really have any shows this week. I did a culinary delights cooking show yesterday. Well, not a show. It's one of those events for the Chamber of Commerce of Glen Cove where all the different restaurants come in and
Oh, very nice.
present their food and stuff. So we had a good time there. And
What'd
I
you
picked up a
whip up?
potential guest.
What'd you whip up?
I whipped up pasta basil.
Peas and macaroni,
Peas
right?
and macaroni, yes.
We had that when we were poor. growing up.
Right. We still. I'm
bringing
still.
back bad
I'm still.
memories.
I'm still poor. I'm a comic. So, and I did chicken franchise too.
Nice.
Ah, very
yeah,
nice.
So, and it
You
was
got anything
fun.
coming up?
And I won Met tickets.
Oh, yeah, you said
I
that.
won Met tickets. It
Chicken
was great.
franchise Fiala? It's delicious.
Chicken franchise. And we might have a future guest there. She does Cooking with the Stars. Paula Gottlieb. She's a
Oh,
a nice person. I'm going to bring her on in the future, and she does a lot of things with.
Presentation?
Huh?
Cooking presentation?
I don't know. She does a lot of interviews, but we could. It'd be nice if.
We get a little crock
Be
pot or
nice if
something,
he would let us do a
hot
little
plate.
cooking show here.
I don't know if they'll
bring-
allow that.
I
Can you
bring
do a
him in.
cook-off?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a cook-off with Carrie Karavis.
Really? What are you gonna
Yeah.
make?
We didn't decide yet, and I'm gonna have this woman. Maybe she's gonna do the interviews. We're gonna bring a
You
film
know,
team in the kitchen.
Maybe we could do like.
Mike Keegan is a judge.
Well, I mean, come on.
Jeff Parami's a judge.
But
Tugboat Manny.
all fat guys.
Sandy Ellis.
Well, Sandy's not a guy, nor is she fat.
Yeah, well, I just threw in there. She doesn't even know she's going to be a judge,
Oh,
but I
okay.
threw her in there.
It's like when John tells you you got a show. You're on my show. When is it? Tomorrow.
No, it's going to be a fun thing. We want to do it for a charity.
So that'd be nice.
And John LaRocchia wants to do a cooking
I
thing
was
with
gonna-
us with TJ, one of our other viewers and friends of John. We're going to do another one, a cook-off with me and him, too. So But,
Food is universal.
It is.
It
Yeah.
brings
It's
people
But we're going to
together.
do a comedy show after the thing
Well,
with Carrie.
your cooking is pretty
The
good.
judges, we're going to put them. We're going to have them do a set.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Okay.
Cook a crappy meal, and then make people try to make people
Right,
laugh.
or they might laugh
afterwards.
at our meal.
Hey, that sucked. That sucked. Check
So what are
out
you trying to
this.
say?
The
What are
comedy
you trying to
sucked, but
say,
the
Cat?
food was good.
Yeah,
What are you
check
trying to
this
say?
out.
Carrie's a shitty cook?
Not Carrie. Carrie's delicious. You know who I'm talking about.
I won't
Carrie,
go there.
delicious.
I won't go there.
So, Steve, how was your week?
Week was good. Pat Gagliotti and I, Pat hosted the Veterans Show at the VA hospital on
Nice.
Saturday.
And Carla was with us.
there.
Carla was
Carla
with
was
us too.
there.
Nice, nice.
I
Paula will talk
had
about
a-
her own week.
No, but Carla was there. I had to leave a little early, so Sally didn't
Getting a little like
get to
Santo.
see her set, but
Sorry.
I'm sure it was great. And you know, these are veterans from all different wars, as we've said in the past, and you know, they're happy to have somebody come in and bring a little light. And you know, don't forget, we never do. We try not to, and this is one way. So Pat hosted, and again, Carla did the show.
Not me, the other Pat.
Patty G.
No,
You
you were
can't
making
say-
you were making the
Pasta Vazul.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
poverty meal
Yeah.
over at the.
You should have a long hand.
Yeah.
On that thing that just comes out so you can
Right.
wave.
Well, we
it.
try to keep Patty off screen after,
Right, that's
it, just a hint.
after last
It-
week's
it-
episode. We're keeping
The
him
last two episodes.
Your big debut for the Glen Cove Arts Council, and you bust out freaking peanut butter and jelly or whatever it was. Nice job.
Hey, not
kid.
for nothing. The people came to me and said it was the best food there. So I'm not tooting my own
course,
horn.
it was free.
I'm not tooting
Free
my own
food's
horn,
always
but I am
delicious.
going to toot my own horn.
I'm sure it
Why
was.
would you?
I'm sure. How much did it cost them?
It cost them $50 to get in.
Really?
I didn't make a dime off it, so.
$50 to eat pasta and peas?
No, they had all the other vendors.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very expensive, right? Carl?
So, all right.
So we had that show. I agree, Carla. Pasta and peas. Come on. It's $2.99 meal.
with
but,
shells. Shell pasta.
oh, with shells.
Shells and pasta?
Okay.
shell
Shells and peas.
Wow.
Yeah, shells and peas.
All right. Well, you know.
You could have just.
You know how the Italians
You could've
lost?
put the
That's how
peas in the shells and
That's
called
how
them
the
stuffed
Italians
shells.
lost the war. They sent the guy for shells. He came back with macaroni.
Okay, moving right along.
That's an old joke.
That is an old joke.
That's an old joke.
And you make
Yeah,
fun of
I
my
tell you what, I'd
pinata.
rather eat that bomb than the pasta and peas you made for the Glen Oaks Arts Council. You know,
That and his Italian canola.
that was
What
more
is it called?
palatable than
Italian egg
the.
rolls,
Italian egg
the
rolls.
Italian egg
yeah,
rolls that he
yeah.
made that time.
What's in an Italian egg roll?
I never made
he,
it.
He did. What,
I
what'd
didn't.
you
Somebody,
call it?
I don't know. Somebody called it Italian.
You said you had to explain it to. They were.
Oh,
Asian
oh
or
no! I did a
something.
cooking demo, and it was supposed to be in front of seniors, and this woman brought all these Asian people that didn't even understand me. So I told them, I said, I'm going to make Italian egg rolls. We're going to stuff it with ricotta. And they were laughing. They were laughing. They didn't even know.
So anyway,
All right, good.
that was the Northport show, and I left after my set, but I'm sure it was a great rest of the show, Pat. Right? And
You left, or they asked you to leave.
they probably hoping I would leave, and I did. You know, but they didn't ask.
good.
But if they were Marines, if they asked, I'm leaving.
Listen,
You know?
Dan Romano's watching the show.
Oh.
The Dan Romano show says he loves Carla Okerson. She's one of the best. But Dan Romano says that about everybody. When he has
What
a
are you
show, I
trying to
don't-
say, Pat? What are you trying to say, Pat? I'm right here. I'm right here.
so and then he told me to stick with the cooking than the jokes, though.
Is this the
Yeah,
roast of Carla
I agree.
Okerson? You're
Not
just
yet.
gonna come
No,
at
no.
me like
No.
that?
we
no,
give you one
no.
appearance
I was
without
actually
that, then your
roasting.
second
I was
appearance.
actually roasting Dan Romano
Oh,
when it came
okay,
up
okay.
because he tells when I'm on the show, one of the best in the business, and he'll bring Keegan on, one of the best in the business. That we were on the show that day.
Yeah.
But he
doesn't-
qualifies by saying
But then
one of
when
the
you say
best.
it
He
about
never
me,
says
me,
the
right?
best.
I apologize, Carl. You are one of the. You are
Carla,
one of the
it is
best.
true.
Carl. You are one of the best.
When they say
All right,
that,
so
it's
very
true.
good. Anything else in your week there, Steve?
No, that's about it. That was a nice highlight of the weekend.
Very nice.
That show. Yeah.
Very nice.
And since we're talking about that, since Patty G's not on air, tell us about the Martin Luther King show.
Yes, we were. Can they hear me? They can hear me.
They can hear you.
John,
They
myself,
can't see you.
and the great Jim Delacus, we did a Lutheran school in Maspeth, Queens Friday. Fundraiser for them to buy some equipment for the school and everything like that, you know. What a great show. Great show. I hosted. I won't toot my own horn. John was terrific, and Jim was just beyond funny.
Yeah,
He
Jim
was
Delacus,
terrific.
funny
Jim's
guy.
great.
Jim
yeah.
Delacus. It was a really great, fun show. Nice to be back in Queens since me and John grew up next door in Middle Village. Nobody
Were
knew
you
who
neighbors growing up, or you just?
We were
using that,
well. He's older than I am, but I used to eat in his dad's luncheonette all the time.
Yeah,
So
John
that was
said he
nice.
didn't really like you that much
Right.
when you guys
No,
were kids.
no,
So.
it's, yeah.
You know, Pat, you're so vicious to me. You just,
You're hurting everyone's feelings.
yeah. What kind of chef
And,
are you?
Pat's the kind of guy that always started the wars between the two
Yeah.
mafia families by saying, "Hey, you know what he said? Hey, you know what he said?"
Yeah.
He always went back and forth.
No, I'm actually very nice. But
And they made a
it's part of the
crappy meal.
show. It's part of the
Is
show.
it
is.
because we came at you for your choice of pasta dish?
No, no.
Well, anyway,
Chicken franchise was a nice savor, though.
Yeah,
Right.
no, nice save.
we got nothing but kudos and compliments at the end of the show. So a show very successfully done for Laughter
Good.
Saves Lives.
Good,
Nice.
excellent,
Good stuff.
excellent. So my week was fairly uneventful. I did have my stress test last week, and that went well. So that
Oh yeah,
was good.
it went good.
And then they could combine two things and just lock me in a room with the family, and then I could combine it into a stress test and the escape game. But
Or they could just wire you up
Well,
when
they
you go
could
home
just
at
wire
night.
me up.
Wire you
like
up when
that.
you go home at night. Yeah.
so, but Saturday I went to my wife's aunt was 90 years old, so I went to we went there in Jersey. It was a very nice party, and outside though there was a wedding going on. So I left the birthday party, and I snuck out to the wedding. Now the wedding's out there; it's all nice, and I'm watching the wedding go on, and there's a nice crowd out there, and they get to the part where the priest says to the bride and groom, he says, "Kate and Gregory, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." So I decided to yell out, "I object."
Oh, no.
Now everybody stops, and I said, "I've always loved you, Gregory."
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work out. When they say know your audience, they mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't get no laughs, nothing.
No, I got
like one of
I
your
got a
sets.
couple of death threats. Yeah, it's just like when I follow you, Pat.
You did this. Wait a minute. Where did you do this?
This was at a wedding that I was not
Oh,
invited
no.
to. It was in Jersey. The wedding was in Jersey. Hey, listen, this is what happens when you get married on a golf course.
Were you loaded?
I won't say that I was loaded, but I certainly am not going to say I wasn't.
You were loaded?
But
Yeah.
now I go back
All right.
inside and I'm standing at the bar to get another drink. The way for the entire wedding to come back into the facility is through the bar. So now I got 60 people just staring at me as they're walking through. So it was a little uncomfortable
Oh, boy. Well, so basically, you took a beautiful moment
and ruined it.
and ruined it.
And they wanted
Wow.
to kill you at the end.
And
Yeah.
for the remainder of their lives, when they watch that video,
Yeah.
it's sort of like the greatest photobomb ever. Although I didn't actually
You're that guy?
photobomb it.
You're that guy?
I'm that guy.
So,
Like Godzilla going
So how's
through
your
Tokyo.
acting going?
The acting is progressing. Thank you for asking. Although I went for the audition 2 weeks ago, I didn't get the part, but I'm just plugging away. And I just filmed a short 8-minute short film, 8-minute film. It's called Weird Cupid. So
Oh, nice.
I don't know when it's coming out, or it's
What's-
not coming out.
What's it about?
It's kind of a spoof. It's like a little bit of a dark comedy on the dating, the Tinder world, and all that dating service kind of stuff.
Nice.
So,
All right, good luck, man.
so thank you. So
When can we watch it?
I don't know when it's coming.
We
that
might.
way.
Can we have the premiere on Laughter Saves Lives?
We can have the premiere on Laughter Saves Lives.
It's
That'll
an
work.
8-minute. It's a short.
It's a short film,
Okay.
eight minutes,
Okay.
about give or take.
There's 3 minutes on wedding
And what's your
etiquette.
part? Like 15 seconds?
No, actually, I was in it throughout the whole movie.
Nice.
I
Can we
was
critique
I
your
was the lead.
performance?
You
He was
certainly
in
may.
for the whole 8 minutes.
The whole 8 minutes.
The whole 8
I was the star. The whole 8 minutes. I was in it.
Listen, if it makes you feel any better, you'll never get invited to a wedding again, my friend. You're going to save a lot of money.
Well, I didn't even know these people, but you're right. I probably won't
Yeah,
ever.
well, now
get.
that you said that
Right.
publicly.
And by the way, I understand how the world works, but I saw some very appalling stuff that some white people were doing over the weekend.
I believe it.
I was watching my wife's family dance. And
I'm
it
going to
was
assume the
disgusting.
chicken dance was thrown in there.
There was no chicken dance.
No?
Were you dancing?
I did not. I don't dance.
Because you're a man.
Was your wife dancing?
Wait, real men don't dance?
I'm not really sure how to answer that.
I don't know. She said because you're a man.
Was my wife dancing? Yes, my wife was dancing.
Women like when guys dance.
I think so.
They
yeah.
do.
If
They do.
If they dance well.
Well, I don't,
Yeah.
which
Right.
is why I don't.
Yeah, then it's good to sit it out. Sit it out.
So,
Cocktail
listen.
for your lady friends.
Man's got to know his limitations.
Got a slow dance, though. You can do that.
I did that once.
At your wedding?
No, no.
Oh.
Saturday there was a slow dance came on. I
Wait,
danced
so you
with my
didn't
wife.
slow dance at your wedding?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I
He
did.
slow danced at the wedding he interrupted with
Right,
the
I
broom.
slow dance. Well, what actually happened was, my wife said the bride was pregnant, so I was going to yell out, "That's my baby." However, I couldn't quite be sure if she was pregnant, so I didn't want to be too insulting. because I couldn't quite get an angle. So I went with.
You didn't want to fully ruin the
I didn't want to
Yeah.
completely
Ruin
ruin the
the
wedding. I
little.
just messed it up a little bit. It's sort of like. So
'Cause
call
that's
it.
what- That's what every woman wants to hear on their wedding. That's my baby. I'm not even pregnant.
Right.
You're just fat.
Right. So how was your week?
I had a good week. I was also on the show at the Northport VA. What's happening?
I'm going to lay dollars to donuts that this is John LaRocchia
That's
calling.
all right.
Can we put him on hold? I don't feel
No,
like
we don't have to answer him.
I don't feel like talking
No,
to
so
about my
please,
week right now.
we are
Keep
listening
going.
to this story. So you're on the show.
So I have to say this. Actually, I have a small bone to pick with John LaRocchia. I
Oh,
told him
do
about
it.
today.
Air it here.
He asked me to be on the show at the VA and never told me what the audience was going to be like.
Oh.
So I came in
Oh.
and I saw the state of some of the veterans. I was not prepared for that. And I had to actually collect myself from it. I was extremely emotional for about a good 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Is that after watching
Yeah.
Patty G's act, or was it before?
Right.
I don't know if you
She was catatonic after. She was shocked by the audience, catatonic by Pat's.
I'm with you,
I don't know
Carl.
if you noticed, I came in and I just kind of took a minute and I sat down and I just kind of, I had to take a few breaths. I wasn't prepared for the state
Yes.
of some of those veterans. I didn't realize that that was the kind of show. And ultimately, I was thrilled to have been able to perform for them. But I think that you should give somebody the heads up when
Yes.
some of your audience is going to be as disabled as those veterans
Yes.
were.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be, like a VA event just for veterans.
Right.
Right, just every veteran, some disabled, some not, just a VA event. I didn't realize when he did say it was, building XYZ, the nursing home, I still wasn't prepared for
Yeah,
it.
the majority of them are, a lot of them are wheelchair bound.
Yes.
And older or elderly and suffering from a lot of different ailments.
Yeah.
Well, what helped out was it was Saturday, so it was family day while the show was on, so some of the vets' families were there.
Okay.
And they appreciated it and everything. So it wasn't, just the vets and everything.
Well,
But
I
she
had a
did
great
too.
So-
She did terrific. She rebounded. She did very well. They loved her.
I had a
You don't
great
get a lot of
conversation.
females.
The nice
that-
thing about that room is it's usually intimate, where you can talk to the veterans before
Right.
the
Yeah.
show and you get to know them
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
And-
was
and they
talking-
like that. They
I
like
was
it.
talking to some of the guys after
So now
know.
you've been performing comedy for how long?
for about 3 years, maybe.
About 3 years.
Yeah,
And how did a
more.
little background how you got into comedy?
So I worked at the Comic Strip in Manhattan. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
Sure,
All
we've never been
through-
asked to perform there, but thank you.
Well, I worked there all through college and law school, and that is where I met my husband, who I'm separated from. And my husband is a stand-up comic. I don't know if you guys are familiar with his work.
yes,
Yes, you are.
I'm
You're
not.
I listen to his
I'm
show.
not.
You listen to a show, and so you know that me and my daughter and I.
I know.
yeah.
I hear a lot of things. I catch it on the way home from work.
Yeah. So we're basically a comedy family, and it's something that I wanted to do for a long time. But I was in law school, and while Jay was moving his career forward, I was basically supporting our household. We
Very
have a
nice.
kid pretty young.
Okay.
My daughter's 14.
Oh, nice.
So-
Also a stand-up, I think you said?
Yes, she started doing stand-up a year and a half, 2 years ago. Then she's on sabbatical now from stand-up.
Is your daughter watching the show now?
No, she is at soccer practice.
How do you feel about your daughter doing stand-up?
She's great.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because I'm her mom.
Starting young,
She's
too.
great. She's
Yeah, my
funny.
son started at
She's a
15, so
funny,
it's nice to
funny
get
kid.
them. It's good to
Nice.
get him started. Plus, I did it with my son because I noticed he was a little shy, and I wanted him to feel comfortable. So I don't know if your daughter had any shyness issues or.
No, she's
but
the exact
but
opposite.
it actually it worked out. And so now you said you went to law school. May I ask what kind of law do you practice?
I practice federal criminal defense.
Okay,
Okay.
interesting. And now, do you find any inspiration from law to cross over into your comedy, or is there anything like that
Not really.
you draw
I mean,
from?
Not really. Most of my comedy is based on things that have actually happened to me or interactions that I've had, and I do have a couple of stories that I tell that are based on interactions that I've had with clients, but actual parallels between my practice and comedy. It's just it's a pretty serious practice.
Right. I was
Right.
gonna say I took a comedy class with a couple of guys that were lawyers, but they never really pursued it because they're a law field and they have to be pretty. They don't promote it much on.
Right.
So it's got to be tough for you in that aspect. if you want to take your clients.
Fine line.
Yeah, fine line. Yeah.
I actually practice under my maiden name, and then I do
Okay.
comedy under Okerson.
Nice.
Very nice.
Do
Yeah,
you?
because I know people that are doctors too. Like one guy that's a doctor, he does it, and he doesn't want. He has his 2 different names for his comedy too.
Sure.
So yeah, so that's good though.
Yeah, because you want somebody to take you serious. Even though most of my clients think I have a great sense of humor, I do. You know.
They don't have a great sense of humor when they're getting locked
Right.
up in the cell afterwards.
Well, you know, sometimes even under those circumstances, you want somebody with a great sense of humor.
I
You
would
want
good
somebody
point.
to cheer you up a little bit. A little
That's a
bit.
good point.
So what's if I can ask you this, what's your win ratio,
Oh, well,
or you don't really measure that out?
no. You know, most of the cases that I take actually plead out.
Okay.
So
Very good.
I guess you want to call that what, like a draw?
100%.
A draw.
I would say that's 100% win.
I have 100% draw.
So
Keegan said a funny line. He says, "Why did Pat start sweating when she said criminal federal defense?"
so Mike Keegan keeps telling everybody he's in a relationship with you. And I want to clarify now. Are you aware that he's telling people this?
I don't know where you guys are getting these rumors from.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
About
know
what?
who's talking about
About
this.
Keegan being in a relationship.
I don't know who started that
So-
rumor. It's very strange.
I think it's on your Facebook page.
it
It
on my
says we're in a
Facebook
relationship.
page?
He said you're in a
What?
relationship.
Right.
I even congratulated you
Oh my
guys.
God!
So
Wait,
Mike
I had
is
no
Mike is
idea.
making up stories again.
Mike is making up stories. I know. Mike and I are dating.
So,
yes.
very nice.
I know. It came
I'm
as
very
a-
happy for the both of
It
you.
came as
Right.
a surprise to a lot of people because we come from.
Especially
from
to
two-
Mike.
Right. I was going to
Especially
say
to
we're
me.
very happy for both of you, but
No, they're a nice couple.
Mike's a
They really
nice,
are.
funny guy.
he
But
is.
he's
He is.
extraordinarily conservative. I'm extraordinarily liberal. and,
Interesting.
Well, that's
you
great.
know,
That's
Oh, that
we
makes
have,
for a nice contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a lot of we go to war on Facebook.
Yeah.
So once I guess we became Facebook official. People were shocked.
Facebook.
Facebook
That's how you
official.
measure the
We're Facebook official.
And then once you got,
Once
and
it's
you,
on
and then you guys,
Facebook, then
and
it's
then you
for
guys
real.
laid a bait out for JJ Boyd. To,
Oh yes, yes.
and you reel him in.
You reel him in.
I swear, nothing incites conversations or Facebook conversations than politics.
Oh no.
Oh, it's horrible. I'm so happy baseball.
You can love
season's
somebody
back.
and hate somebody in
But
the
you know
same
what? Even that,
paragraph.
wait,
Yeah, but I
with
love
the
fighting
Yankees-
about
no, of
baseball.
course
I
you-
love
that's-
fighting
it's a
about
lot of-
baseball. That's great.
Now,
That's fun.
Are you Met or Yankee fan?
I am not a baseball fan.
Oh, so.
But here's where this is like. So this is gonna be so controversial. This is gonna blow this
Go
show
ahead.
up right now.
Bring it.
Go ahead, blow it up.
I'm not a baseball fan. However, I am an Eagles fan and a Sixers fan.
God, what's wrong? with
You
Well,
have a
you
Philly
came.
background?
Did you come from Philly?
Right.
No, my Jay did, and I was completely American sports neutral.
Yeah.
And so I just, when I started watching football, I started watching the
not?
Eagles. I did watch basketball. I was a Knicks fan for a minute, but the Knicks haven't been
Well,
good.
Why not?
Well,
So,
Keegan's
yeah.
a Yankee fan, so you're gonna have to start getting into
Right.
the Yankees.
I did. I actually got Mike for Christmas Yankee tickets to the season opener, Yankee Stadium.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And we went together.
Did he take you?
Nothing
No,
wrong with
yeah,
that.
I did. You know what's funny? I did. You can ask Mike.
I believe
I
you.
said I'm giving you 2 tickets. I'm not giving you one. You're gonna have to take me. You could take whoever it is that you want to take. Your friends, your dad, whoever. Do what you do. And he still wanted to take me. Imagine that.
Nice.
He realized
Thanks,
that
Mike.
nobody wanted to spend time with him, not even his father, so he brought you.
Hey, listen, there's
I
nothing
was
wrong,
on the hook.
nothing wrong with being a Sixers fan. I was a fan ever since.
Allen Iverson.
Oh, no,
Before
I'm
that?
older. Dr. J
Dr.
took
J,
off.
I was gonna say
Back
that.
when they used the red and white
Dr.
ball, that's
J
when you
took
were like
off from that free throw
basketball.
line. Did he do that when he was on the Sixers?
Yeah, I think so.
He was
yeah.
a bad
The
dude.
red and white basket.
You
He
know,
used to do the spin.
Yeah, I mean that was
Yeah.
he was one of the him
I
and-
love them. Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson. Just
Yeah.
an incredible player to watch.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He was
So-
so I was already watching the Sixers, just a basketball fan, probably a Knicks fan if I had to choose a team, but then, just watching Sixers game, watching Iverson play, just became a Sixers fan, and I'm an Eagles fan, and that gives me a lot of heat living in New York. A lot of
Absolutely.
people don't like that.
Especially,
Well, especially
now,
when
is
the
Mike
Jets
a
and the Giants
fan? Now,
stink
is
like
Mike
they
a
do.
Giants fan or a
For the whole
Jets fan?
team.
He's a Bills fan.
Mike is a Bills
Yes,
fan.
he is
You
a Bills
see,
fan,
You know
yeah,
what?
yeah.
This is why you two get along, because you're both crazy. You Philly, he's a Yankees Bills fan. I know he's gonna say they're the only New York
Yep,
team.
exactly. The
You
only
know
team
what?
that plays
They're
don't
closer to Canada than they are to New York.
I think Mike Keegan is so in love. I don't even think he would care if she was a Mets fan. He
Right.
would still go
Right.
out.
Listen, anybody can root for the home team. It takes
It takes
Yeah.
guts.
something to root for anybody you want to, just because you're in New York. That's all right.
Oh, good for you.
Carla, just a question. Would you ever consider like expanding your client base? Because very admirable what you do for like. Would you ever consider defending like an emotionally traumatized bride?
or a comedian.
someone whose wedding day
mean
was
like
destroyed.
civil
Right,
process?
like a civil, like
Like
a
if
woman who wants to sue for emotional damages.
Right.
I thought you weren't married.
I've heard of people suing for stuff like that.
Sure,
Be
why not?
careful.
Well, listen.
Suing for hurt feelings and stuff.
No, but like I've heard them.
Perhaps
I've
you
heard
could
of
defend
people,
me then.
I'd have to defend
Right,
you.
right.
yeah.
I'd be on the criminal side of this, right?
But I've heard of people suing because a photographer stepped into something.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
or like somebody knocked
Everybody
over a
thinks they're
cake.
gonna get the big
Somebody
payday,
yelled
right?
out at a wedding.
She's in federal court. She's not in Judge Wapner's court. And you're,
But those are the things that people spend a lot of money on their wedding, and
You know what?
if somebody
Let's
ruin it, and you put in $150,000.
Well, I don't think. Listen, if this wedding was $150,000, then they deserve to have had it ruined because
You think
it
they
was,
over- they
it was 60
negotiated
people at a
things?
golf course. You could have over at the golf stand. They had $10 buckets of beer.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. They didn't spend $150,000 on this wedding.
I actually had an idea. I spoke to Frank today on the phone for 10 minutes.
That would be me.
that
And-
had to be
That's.
very.
I gotta say,
that had to be
you
very
spent-
traumatizing.
It lasted longer for you in that conversation than it ever has for me and my wife in bed.
Well, I was wondering, it gave me an idea for a segment for your show today.
Oh.
I was wondering, can you get your wife to answer the phone right now?
Could I get my wife
Yes.
to answer the phone? Unfortunately, no, because she's a court reporter and she's working Brooklyn criminal court tonight. So
Oh, okay.
she's probably. I could give her a call and ask her.
Can you call? Can you
We
call
tried
and
to
see if
have
she'll
we
answer?
tried
She'll
to have a
answer.
segment where we tried to get her
Oh.
on. We tried to get her
Because
on.
I did
John
something-
LaRocchia left the show. He was on there. For
Yes. what happened was, what he's talking
We
about
ignored
is.
him. We
He
went
ignored it
away.
totally. He left the show.
That's how we- that's how to do it.
They've been trying to get Kathy to call in because I did something, and I was in the
Yeah.
doghouse for like 6 months, and I won't tell them what it is, and
You don't want to bring it up again?
I don't want to bring it up again.
Can you text it to me so I can know?
I can't. However, let me text my wife and see if she can call in.
So I just need her for literally 30 seconds.
That's
just
exactly
need to
what I
ask
tell
one
her.
question.
That's all.
That's all she
Frank
gets from
usually
me.
takes, yeah.
But my 30 seconds are going to be way more satisfying, I promise.
Good to know. Oh, is that her
Oh
calling?
no. Who's on the phone?
Hello?
Can we get the call? Hello, caller.
Literally 30 seconds. That's exactly what I tell her. That's all she gets from me. But my 30 seconds.
LaRocchia again. We thought we got rid
Right,
of you.
John. There's a reason why, John, we're not picking up when you call.
I know.
Hello, old great half
Hey,
ahead.
John LaRocchia is on the line. You know, we
Let me
really
see.
forgot about you.
Yeah, 'cause she's a court reporter.
I can't see
Obviously
me
in
here. Am I
another
on?
top of the line hotel.
Yeah, I just had a few quick comments. Thank you, Carla, for coming on. You're very smart and beautiful, and we appreciate you
Anytime.
adding to the
Thanks for
set with
having
those
me.
3 lugs there. Patty,
Which one?
Pat Marone, you may go to jail because people pay $25 and you made pasta and peas and you called some freaking fancy dish.
No, $50. $50. $50 they pay. And believe me,
John Santos going for a stress test tomorrow. They're putting him in a room and showing him Seinfeld for an hour.
I heard there's just going to be other comedians are going to walk in his
Right,
room
they're gonna
while
walk
he's
in on
getting
his
a
stress test.
Yeah, they're just walking in.
He's gonna bump him from his stress.
Yeah.
They're gonna bump him from his stress test. There you go.
I heard, what's his name? Richard Lewis is just going to come strolling in during his stress
Just to
test.
see what he does, to
yeah.
see what his reaction
Hey,
is.
buddy, I told you no visitors.
He's
Is
so
he
worked
really
up. We gotta
going for a
calm him
stress
down.
test
He's fired
tomorrow?
again, by the
who's
way.
going for a stress test?
Is he really going for a stress test?
Yes.
Santa's going for a stress
Frank
test?
talked
He
longer
needs
about
one.
his 8-minute video than the 8-minute video.
What?
The movie he made.
Say that again, oh, great, half a
So,
yellow
John,
head.
so basically you called in and you brought nothing to the table.
What's
You're
that
just
half a
rehashing
yellow-
the show.
Yeah.
What's that ugly curtains
just
head?
rehashing the show.
Nothing.
We should be going to our sponsorship
This was
commercial.
supposed to be an interesting segment.
See?
Why
See
do
what
we
goes
bring you
on here?
How was your week, John?
Oh, don't ask.
My week was crazy. Here's something interesting. Check this out. I'm in Michigan. We went to a sports bar. Okay? There are people drinking in the sports bar, and they allow them to go in a cage and throw an axe against the wall.
It's very popular now, axe throwing. It is. It's very popular, axe throwing.
You're going to let people get drunk and then throw an axe?
Yeah,
That seems like
it's
a
like-
terrible idea.
I know, it does, Colin, but
So
it's
she's
very
on the
popular.
record?
Nah, she can't. Maybe
Okay.
she can't
I've
now.
never heard of this before.
All right.
That's
It
how
really
Pat
is crazy.
chops his chicken cutlets with an axe.
Two more things. I don't know.
But they are very tender.
Yes.
Green Lawn Fire Department show Saturday night was awesome. They made a donation to Laughter Saves Lives. Stevie GB had an unbelievable set. I haven't seen Stevie
Really?
live in a while. really, he's a new comic. He's not new. Chris Lambert, he did great. GB killed. Peaches did great, and Teddy Smith brought the house down. And the guys were great. They made a $300 donation to Laughter Saves Lives Foundation.
That's a great firehouse too.
And the one thing that Pat didn't mention about the Friday show, Pat G.
Pat G, not me.
Ever the
funny,
critique.
the funny Pat G. Pete Burnett from the school, Martin Luther, he came back to the school. How old is he, Pat? You think about 35, 40?
Yeah, well, he graduated in '89, so figure what, 20 years? Yeah, it's about 35,
What's his name?
37. Pete Burdett.
Oh, Pete Burdett, comedy Pete.
Burdett. Anyway, here's the thing.
Can I text her?
This is what I
tell
love
her it's
doing.
you.
This guy, it's his first time back to his alma mater. He did a set for Laughter Saves Lives on this show, and he had a ball. He's been thanking me all week. He did a great job. It was a good night.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
And that's all I got
know
right
who he
now.
is.
That's all I got. I'll call back in 5 minutes.
Why are you always
All right,
yellow?
listen. We need to go to commercial.
John, what can you give
Why
us?
are you always yellow?
Right.
Can you shave again?
You want me to hang on? All right, I'll hang on.
Can you shave again?
Right. Yes.
I'm texting Kathy. I'm going
I'm
to
going
make
to
this
take a
segment
shower
happen.
this time.
All right, we're gonna go to a LifeVax commercial.
Yes, we're going to go to our sponsor, LifeVac. They have saved 11 lives with this wonderful device. Bobby, can you roll the commercial,
They
please?
better save your life, John. You got hepatitis.
That's it. Jaundice.
That's Jordan.
Yeah,
Show
jaundice.
the May
I got
11th
that too.
flyer.
It's attractive.
Hey, I know what's got to be done.
I'm
John
sorry.
looks like he's in the witness protection
He does.
program.
He
He's
does.
Carla, you got to straighten him out.
When someone is choking, brain damage can occur after just 4 minutes. Did you know every 5 days a child dies because of a choking accident?
My name is Art Lee. I invented LifeVac to protect my family. LifeVac is an easy-to-use suction device with a special one-way valve to help save a choking victim.
I care for my dad who's prone to choking. Having LifeVac in my home gives me peace of mind.
Protect your family. Buy LifeVac now.
Thank you, Daddy.
Call 1-877-LifeVac or visit lifevac.net.
Oh, and we're back.
And
We're
that
back.
was LifeVac, our sponsor, with the great.
Oh, he's back.
Right, we thank LifeVac, and that is a great device. As I said, they've saved 11 lives, and you should all consider getting one for your home.
Easy to use and
Easy to
saving
use.
lives at
He's
the
in
same
the
time.
So anyway, if John wants us to promote the upcoming shows, we will. Otherwise, we'll just watch him shower.
All right, so we're not paying attention to him. Let's just do what we're doing.
So anyway,
I'll show you the screen.
we have Laughter Saves Lives has 2 shows coming up. They have the show on May 11th, Heather Pendergrast. Bob, you got the flyer for that? This is a wonderful foundation, the Heather Pendergrast Fund. It's for volunteer firemen whose families who may have been sick or injured or have catastrophic medical bills. Heather was a young
Sick
girl.
children. Sick children.
Children. I'm sorry.
Thank God you're here, John.
Right. Thank God you're here. So
I'm sorry, they have sick children with high medical bills. Wonderful charity.
all right.
Takes care
Or
of all
catastrophic
firefighters.
medical bills. Either
And
way.
me and Les Deegan and I are on the show too. On that show too.
Oh,
Keep going.
that's it.
Oh.
So it's a great show. It's a great cause, and you should come out for that. Then we have the comedy night with the PTA on. Well, that was
They just
a
did
week
that
ago.
Friday. Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
the
that-
Martin Luther.
And that was a great
the-
show.
Yeah.
Right.
Patty G destroyed.
And
I got
Pete
the answer
Burdett
I
was on
needed.
there.
I'm going to do some Pat.
okay.
Ready, Pat?
So
Yes.
and then apparently there's a show on Friday that I just found out about, and it's a animal rescue show. I have no other information.
All right. Back to action.
You know, John, when you try to do the same thing over and over again, it's not all that funny. Apparently,
your
you did this
shower
last
cap.
week.
I still think it's funny, John. You look like Benny Hill.
That's how you get that hair, that nice tint of yellow.
Oh, you cut him off.
I thought we were going to get a shower scene like Psycho.
Oh.
All right, so Carla, what did you want to?
So-
Okay, so I'm going to give you his phone, right? Well, actually, I'm going to give you the phone, and I'm
Okay.
just you're gonna know the answer, and I'm going to ask you this. Frank was already in this conversation, and see what you gentlemen think of this. I'm on the phone with Frank today for about 10 minutes. He wants to know my background. I tell him I work full time as an attorney. I'm a single mom. I have 2 children. I have a toddler and I have a teenager. I work at night. I do comedy. At night.
So
Frank,
far, everything she said is true.
Frank asks me, what are my hobbies? What do you think my hobbies are?
I don't know if I could say it on air.
Go ahead. Whatever.
Your hobbies are know.
Is
I
Mikey
don't wanna
Keegan
think-
one of
I
your
mean,
hobbies?
Yeah. Hobbies probably would be making more babies.
Okay. What do you
Wow.
think my hobbies are, Pat? G.
Skydiving.
Absolutely not. No, that would never be a hobby.
Well, I'm guessing where you're going with this is that you
What is
don't
the
have
correct answer?
no hobbies.
She is a busy mom. She has zero hobbies.
I have
No
zero
hobbies.
hobbies. My hobbies
No
are
Maybe
hobbies.
hobby wasn't the right word. Maybe there should have been other interests. You know, I mean, comedy is
Even if she
comedy
had,
not a
she has-
hobby?
She has
or
no
is-
time.
I think that's very telling, and that is something that only a dad or a guy would say. Like, what hobbies could you have? Because you don't understand what is so all-encompassing about being a wife and a mom, or a single mom like me.
I listen. I understand.
I'll give you the single mom part of that.
I know the struggle.
However,
You're about to get back in the
that
doghouse.
doesn't
Choose
mean
your words carefully.
no. That doesn't mean that you can't have. Maybe you like to read. Maybe you is comedy a hobby?
no
So,
time for that. No time.
Listen.
I
That's
don't. You know, I don't. If I
Yeah, that was a tough question to ask because
Yeah.
I didn't know how to figure out what hobby would be. She had no time
Right.
left, so
Yeah.
that's why I said,
So-
So
sex.
Your
I
answer
said
is
sex.
sex with Mike Keegan?
Yes, right. That could be a hobby because it could be interesting.
Right.
Is that everybody's hobby?
That's
Is that
more
everyone's
that's
hobby?
more like community
He's
service.
lovable. That's
community
lovable,
service.
Mike. He's lovable.
She
I,
reads set lists and legal briefs.
I heard he's a great kisser. I mean, I heard
He
a lot
is.
about him.
He actually is. I've kissed him. I've kissed him on numerous occasions.
So, Greg-
Mike Keegan is a good kisser.
So you were in love with the groom. It's true.
Yes. So
Well, it's possible.
I thought
No, no,
thought that was funny because his wife said nothing, no hobbies. I was like,
Yeah,
exactly.
but wait a second. My wife didn't have hobbies before we had children.
She had hobbies.
Not that I'm aware of.
She had hobbies.
He's in bed.
So apparently what John LaRocque is trying to do is to distract everybody from the actual show and make it about him
I got a
sleeping in the
question.
bed.
I got a question.
I don't care what anybody says. I love it, John.
Steve Oliva was going to do a little segment on the royal baby.
Nobody cares about the
I
royal
have
baby.
it prepared,
Louis.
sir.
He has it right in front of him.
Why don't
Louis.
you let Steve do his segment?
Ah, I see what
We
you're saying.
wanted to
do it now?
We wanted to talk more with Carla, you know.
Right.
Well, that's true, but it'll probably be funnier than the macaroni and shells joke that's been Pat threw out there.
And possibly more interesting than you laying in the bed.
Well,
I think you should get a sleep mask.
You know what? They make a great one. It's actually plastic and you put it over your whole head. It'll put you right
Sure,
out.
Sure. Make fun of my pinatas. Sure.
Let Stevie do his segment. It could be funny.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure it is.
Okay, folks.
Much funnier than you in the bed.
No, Carla is going to chime in. We'll all chime in, you know.
Absolutely.
Listen, Laughs to Save's live show, sometimes we do international stories to try and reach a broader audience. So, Duke William and Duchess Kate Middleton had a baby, I think last week. They finally picked the name. It's Louis Arthur Charles. The formal name, folks, is His Royal Highness Prince Louis of Cambridge. Very pretentious.
I'm
Not
thinking, hey,
pretentious,
Louis.
that's just how they name it.
I'm thinking
Okay.
Louis is just easier.
Well, they pronounce it Louis, which means renowned warrior in French. Not to be confused with Pat, renowned chef of Glen Cove. This is Louis, renowned warrior, and the middle name is Arthur, which stands for bear in Celtic. So the kid is apparently a renowned warrior bear. Those are very high standards they're setting for this kid. I mean, I just wrote down, what if he wants to be a fashion designer or make fish and chips in an English pub? He's going to be completely overnamed for that. But that's his name. Prince Charles, the grandfather, who we all know from his original marriage to Princess Diana, says he hopes he just can keep up with the kids. And I just wrote, well, with those ears, just let them hang on and
Yes.
they'll be okay. Folks, how big do you think the baby was?
8 pounds.
6'6".
8
7 pounds 5 ounces. I mean,
That looks like an 8-pounder in the picture.
You're right, Carla. Carla, as a mom, knows this. 8 pounds, 7 ounces.
That could be a new hobby, guessing children's
Guessing,
weight.
yeah, that's
She's a
my
bowler.
hobby.
You'd be like,
She's a
you'd be like,
bowler,
like at
that's
the
what they need
street
to-
fair, you
Yeah.
know, guess my weight.
Guess
You
my
think,
baby's weight. They just hold it up like this, and I go 8 pounds, 12 ounces.
Yeah, I mean, it's very
Now
close.
throw it on the veggie scale.
8.5 pounds. Fifth in the Britain's throne to be, I suppose, the prince. Now, here's the interesting thing. In England.
I was waiting for the interesting part.
Okay, hold on, oh yellow person.
You're the one that put him up to this, John, so I wouldn't really
No,
criticize
they-
him.
they
You put him up
announced-
to the royal baby.
The way
I'm
they
beginning
do
to
it in
think the
England.
pinata thing was your idea too, LaRocchia.
No, now I'm going to point out some differences in America, the way America does it and the way England does it. They announced on an easel outside of Buckingham Palace about the baby's birth. Once again, they got Americans beat. We announce our babies on Twitter and Facebook.
They do it on a
So-
sandwich board.
Like an easel with like chalk.
While they're being
They
born.
did it on a sandwich board.
Like the royal chalk artist comes out.
We
Well-
announced them while they're being born.
Yeah, being born, but it was very formal looking, But I'm just saying they got us beat. We're on social media.
They're just
throwing
much
up
better
pictures
than us.
of-
You know, she walked out of the hospital looking great.
Yeah,
7
she
hours
walked
after
out.
giving birth.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
Perhaps there was
but
a
I
body
mean,
double.
she had a lot of help, I'm sure. Unlike
Walking?
well, she probably had 1,000 assistants and
Walking?
every other-
You know what it's like
No,
to walk after?
before she came out. Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole walking process is
Is it
difficult.
hard?
It's
Yeah.
hard. I mean, like walking normally, like
Yeah, but
your
after
parts
that,
aren't what they were before.
I got
like
you.
7
okay.
hours after.
All right. Well. Okay. So she walked out, which is an accomplishment. The birth was marked by a gun salute from British soldiers for the baby. So that's how they marked the birth of the baby by, and they beat us again because we do it with streamers from Party City and fake and plastic party accessories.
Chocolate cigars.
Chocolate cigars, yeah. So they got us beat there again. The royal baby usually has 3 to 4 names. Once again, of a royal baby, 3 or 4 names: Prince Charles, Louis, etc., etc. Once again, in America, they beat us because with us, it's 3 or 4 fathers and a big question mark afterwards. So, thought that one would get more, but apparently not.
No, you're right. Well, that's exactly how I felt at the wedding. Thought it would get more laugh. Thought it would get more. And that's exactly how my
lastly,
wife felt on her honeymoon.
when the baby gets christening, she will be wearing, or he rather, he. Excuse
See,
me.
it is a girl.
But I did write this down anyway. A christening gown of a baby. I don't know if a boy wears a gown. I don't get. But will be when they have a girl. It's a replica of the first one worn by Queen Victoria in 1894.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, they.
That's big.
That's
Well, boys
big.
They really don't throw stuff away, huh?
I think they put a gown on the
They
kid.
just
I
don't
don't
throw stuff
know.
away,
Yeah,
those
not
things.
boys if it's like a tiny one.
Christening, and they said it's a christening gown, so I don't know.
Oh,
but,
wow.
Like, boys wear gowns
They
too.
do, and because
Yeah, but they're little.
I remember when my son was getting christened, and my wife put him in, and I said, you're not putting him in a dress, and then I was very upset about
That went over like the wedding thing
No,
too,
no,
right?
that was
No,
actually
so
a fight.
apparently-
that was actually a fight.
The boy is going to wear this gown. It's a replica from Queen Victoria in 1894.
The girl,
once
you
again,
mean.
the girl, once again beating us in America. We throw our kids in overalls purchased at Target the day before. So
Oshkosh B'gosh.
Oshkosh B'gosh, which is exactly what I wrote down. Good
All
man.
right, that was
So
Steve
folks,
Oliva helping us out.
there's some international news on
I
the baby.
really want Patty G back.
What did we learn today?
Thanks, buddy.
What did we learn today?
We
Don't
learned that-
Don't have Steve Oliva plan the christening because he's going to dress your kid in overalls.
Don't invite Frank to a wedding.
Don't invite Frank to your weddings or near weddings.
Right.
Don't ask Carla if she has a hobby because
Don't
she's a
ask Carla
busy
if
mom.
she's hobbies.
No, I never think that a woman who has a law practice, is a comedian, has 2 children, has any hobbies.
And if
Don't
you pay
ask Pat to cook anything fancy if you're going to pay $50
Listen,
a person.
it's big one.
First of all, let me explain that. But if she is right,
That would've been
it's not
peanut
about
butter jelly
fancy.
sandwich.
If you bring a little bit from your facility that you. Right.
John's in the pool
I didn't
now.
make no money off it. What happened?
John.
Oh, he's actually
Oh,
going to
it's
get...
a jacuzzi.
He's in the
shut him
jacuzzi.
off.
Can you
Hang
shut
up
him
on
off, Bobby?
Hang up on it.
Hey, Pat, you know what's
We only
actually
have
funny
10
about
minutes left.
that?
Sorry, Carl.
I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but it used to be, I may still be there on Old Country Road. I used to go there to get pasta with ricotta and peas, which you can make at home
Right.
in less time than it would. I lived in Queens at the
took
time.
you
In
to drive,
less
yeah.
time than it took me to drive there, and it was literally pasta with ricotta and peas. That's it, black pepper, and I could have made it at home, but I used to drive there for that.
There's something about eating out.
that is
You don't wanna-
true.
you
it
don't
is
wanna
easy.
take issue
But the
with the way
reason
she
why
said
I
we're
did make that, first of all, I would have just brought. Well, you only have required to bring one dish. I wanted to have a little side to go with the franchise, something light, springtime, and that's why I did that. I wasn't looking to rip anybody off. And you know something?
You mean because it's springtime?
There was
nerd.
There was people there. There was people there that didn't even bring enough food for the rest of the people. So I was getting a lot of people coming up to me and saying that it was the best food there.
No, Pat, I'm not doubting your chef abilities. I'm doubting your choice of peasant meals.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Well, listen.
Or 50 big ones.
Last year I did salmon.
Ooh, see, now you're talking.
The year before I did Penny alla cognac, which I do.
Nice.
And then I did the gavadilles with the cognac and the sausage.
Deals, bullets.
So, you know, I do mix it up a little bit, you know. So next year I'll see what else I do.
Can you invite us?
Of course you
Or
can.
sushi? Can
I'll
we
get
help
in,
you?
I'll get you in. You can help me. You don't have to pay.
I was going to say, I'll bring the sterno trays in. And,
I'll sous chef. I love cooking.
Okay.
Which reminds me, while we're here, folks, can I have a job?
Yeah. Listen, you're a very funny comic. You're a good writer.
And we'll leave it at that.
I cooked in a firehouse for 20 years, pal. Let me chop something.
Yeah.
Let
Well, I
me
heard
chop
about your stories. LaRocchia really didn't like your food, he said.
Right.
I never cooked for him.
Well, that's probably why he didn't like your food.
He worked in another borough, pal.
All right, now, Carla, so we have you on the show. You're one of our guests. So you worked at the comic strip, so I figured I'd ask you. You must have met a lot of big-time comics there and stuff like that. Did you meet a lot of the comics there when you worked there, big time?
Yeah, I met all the comics. I mean...
Were you there when I watched a documentary on, what was her name? Vanessa Hollingsworth.
But it's a Hollingshead.
Hollingshead.
And she was married to Lucian.
Right, were you with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that on Prime,
Amazon
Prime.
Yeah.
It was really interesting how all the
I
story.
was actually with her. I wasn't performing, but I went to a show where she was. I hadn't seen her in a long time. She's incredible.
Yeah, I watched her
She's
perform. I
incredible.
don't know her personally, but I'm saying, oh wow, I seen her
Very
at Carrie's
funny.
place one time, and I said, and you hear the stories that went on behind at the comic strip.
Yeah.
It was pretty.
Very, very funny lady, and I mean, I haven't seen her in easily 15 years. Her skin her skin is flawless. She hasn't aged a day since I met her. It's
Wow.
unbelievable.
What's
Unbelievable.
What's the secret?
I don't know. Can we get her on the
Telling
phone?
jokes.
So
Telling
Could
jokes,
be.
a good sense of humor.
Could
so
be.
now
Good sense of humor, yeah, less frowning.
working.
More laughing.
What did when you worked at the club? What did you do there?
I was a waitress.
You were the waitress. So, what are kind of without giving up any names, unless you want to, like some of the kind of behind the scenes things that go on at the comedy club that most people wouldn't have any idea about?
This is PG.
That's all. She knows how to choose her words. She's an attorney.
First of all, comedy is a very small world. So
Yes,
you
it
have,
is.
You have to be.
I don't know, stuff that goes on behind the scenes. I don't know. I mean, in my experience, towards the end of the night, your staff is probably drunk. Just
that
so you
right?
know, yeah, the staff is probably drunk.
And the crowd
Or
is
close
probably
to it,
drunker,
and
right?
the crowd is probably drunk
Right.
also.
Now, what's the difference between early in the night, right, as opposed to the climate between the comics and the last comics to go on towards the end of the night when everybody's drinking a little more
So, you know,
tired and
like,
everything?
When I worked there, it was 3 shows, so it was like an 8, a 10, and a 12 o'clock show. So the 3 shows had a completely different clientele. They had a completely different lineup.
Vibe.
Like, it was a totally different vibe. I guess like the 12 o'clock show at the time could have been considered more urban, maybe. Is that what you
Right.
call it?
Right.
What was the worst part of the job for you?
Listen to the same jokes over and over.
No. The worst part for me was, how nasty people can be to people in customer service.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You'd be shocked how people really feel like they can be so shitty to you
It's
because of
horrible.
what happened
It's
to be
horrible.
their server, and like they just feel like they can crap all over you. They wouldn't talk to someone else like that.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
but
do you really wanna-
people go out with a sense of entitlement when
Yes.
they go out. Like when you go to a restaurant, people think, all right, you're here to serve me, and they have that. It's the worst. Dealing with the public can be very
Do you
difficult.
really want to piss off the person that's handling your food?
But
I'm not
yeah.
saying that people,
Well,
but
I never did.
no,
anything
and
wrong.
I wasn't implying that you did, but really, I mean, think about it. You really want to be nasty to somebody that's now
No,
handling
but it
your
shows
food?
something about a person's character that, people can mess with your food, but that's not even it. It's good to treat people.
You
You
can
know-
tell.
you know what's
You can
also
tell the people
interesting?
don't go out.
It's also
Right, that's
interesting
right.
to have people order things off of a menu, right? You have a menu in front of you. You see the drink, you see the price, you know whether or not you paid a cover charge already or there's going to be a cover charge on your check. So somehow you give someone a check and they lose the ability to do basic math. All of a sudden they're furious. Like,
That's
you
probably
know-
why a lot of the comedy clubs put the tip on the bill too.
yeah.
Probably.
But they're furious all of a sudden. It's like, well, you knew you had to pay a cover charge. You knew there were 4 of you. You knew you had a 2-drink minimum.
Right.
You all chose to have 4 drinks each. Now you're shocked that you have a check that's $200+. How is any of this your server's fault?
Yeah,
Well, don't forget, too,
tough.
they're not going out for fine dining in a restaurant. You're in a comedy club. There's raunchy jokes going on. It's just the atmosphere is very, aggressive and everything like that. So it's just like
The service business.
You're not eating
the
in
service
the Four
business
Seasons.
in general is
Sure.
very difficult, and people don't realize how hard it is on the people that are serving them. Like you go into a restaurant and somebody say, "Where's my food?" and they're getting pissed off, and they can't. Why they get mad at the waiter for? It's not the waiter's fault.
Yeah, but it's always he's the
the point.
He's the
man.
front line. That's the front
Right,
line.
it's the front line.
Yeah, but it's still not nice.
No, it's not nice.
You know?
And again, they say how you treat waiters and waitresses and people who serve you at any show something about your character because you don't have to be that way.
Right.
Are you in your clientele, like your older population? I'm sure you deal with some of the different things, but it's
I
probably
deal with everything.
You do?
I know every one of my residents. I go out. I talk with them every day. We have a food council meeting where they
Oh,
talk
I love
about
that.
different things.
I love a food
There's-
council
there's
meeting.
8 residents a month that we do a monthly food council meeting, and we discuss all the topics of the dining room servers, the meals, the food.
Who's a regular and needs to
No.
change, get more
Food's,
greens?
the temperature of the food going out, if it's hot enough, the taste and what's going on. We do every serve. We'll do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We'll have a whole chart.
Sure,
And we
why
sit
not?
with council meetings. But I don't get insulted with them. They're helping me because I can't see everything that's going on because I'm
Right.
in charge of it.
Right.
So, and then my residents, I know, like we're there to serve them, like, if you're a bartender or you're a waiter or something like that. You're there to make them, they pay a lot of money to be by me.
Are
You-
they
you do-
full-time residents?
Yes.
Yeah.
You do all 3 meals on your shift?
Well, I have
There's
guys
assisted
working
living.
before I get in there.
Okay.
That's
chef
why he's
or
a chef.
assistant
Yeah.
living.
I have.
How does? I'm sorry.
As your boyfriend Mike Keegan calls him, he says, when I left one night, it was the funniest thing. He says, "Oh, you got to get up early to feed the invalids."
That's insensitive. Oh, Mike, I don't believe Mike said that. How,
You know what?
Mike?
I believe
But
it.
that's our funniest joke. We laugh about that all the time. He'll always say, "You're gonna go feed the invalids."
Now, how do you balance that? Because I know, like, so if you have elderly people who are in assisted living, they all have some people can't have sodium and some people have low cholesterol. Do you do one thing that covers everything?
Sodium, I don't add salt to my food. Like I'll add a little bit to the tomato sauce, but not supposed to add salt. So that's the sodium. Then we have residents on NSA, which is no added salt. We have people that are no salt added. There's 2 different ways. No salt added or no added salt. 2 different things. Like certain processed foods, they got to watch for their salt, like cold cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's-
so we keep a close range on that. And that's one of my cooking demos I did. Yeah.
Oh, they look thrilled.
Yeah, that's cooking Italian cuisine right in Locust Valley.
Oh.
Yeah.
They look.
You know why they have
Oh,
me?
pasta and peas again! You cheapo! You repetitive son of a gun! You!
You know.
You rip!
Look, there's the recipe.
You low income,
Come on.
bottom feeding.
Why did you serve them ramen noodles, man?
John put him
If
up.
Carla served that, they give her a hard time at the comic strip
But
at
listen,
the end of the night.
But bottom line is, and I have to worry about diabetic diets and stuff like that. So assisted living, they come down to the dining room and that's all.
Okay.
Who is it?
What do we got on the line?
On the Rokia.
Hello, caller.
Hello, Steve. It's Butch.
Butch.
Hey, Butch,
Hi,
how are ya?
handsome. Hi, handsome Butch.
I know we only have moments left.
Right, so you're
I know you
calling in
mentioned
to
it, but could you
babysit us
mention
too?
the shows that are coming up this weekend, please?
We already
We
did
already
that.
did that.
If you
I
watched
know,
the
but
show,
mention it again.
you would know
Okay,
that.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do it again.
I said I heard you do it. It was a great show tonight.
So we
thank
have
you.
you babysitting us, and we have John babysitting us.
I'm not babysitting.
Listen, Butch, you don't have to take that from Frank.
Right,
Butch,
We talked about the show.
Butchie's a good guy. You don't have to take
Nobody
that
said
shit
he's not a
from
good
Frank.
guy.
Careful.
He's the only tour manager that never goes on tour. He's great. Take
Yes.
care of it.
Yeah, but he's like the Wizard of Oz. He's behind the scenes orchestrating, baby.
Careful, Butch. We have
All
our
right,
attorney
Bobby,
here.
can you put up-
we love Butchie. He's
Butch,
the
I
best.
love you,
Bobby, can you
Butch.
put up the flyer again for us, please? Thanks,
Thank
Butch.
you, guys.
We'll see you soon. Support this. This is
In Sayville.
It's in
That's the
Sayville,
Sayville
yes.
Fire
Sayville.
Department.
Yeah, it's May 11th, and it's going to be a fun show. We have
They
Eric
do
Haft on
an
there.
amazing
Eric Haft,
job.
Love
They really
Eric
do. It's
Haft.
a great foundation.
Yes.
It is a
Anthony
great
Kappa,
foundation.
Eric Half. Is that Jim Delakis on there too?
No, that's Joe Pontillo
Sorry, I can't see.
and Anthony Capfor
Anthony Kappa, yes. And you're
John,
on it?
and John LaRocchia.
Yes, with his
He's gonna be
1970s headshot.
And that'll be at 107 North Main Street in Sayville, New York. That's Friday, May 11th at 7 p.m. Stores
Sponsored by
open.
LifeVac.
Yes.
Yeah, so folks, that's going to be a great show.
And that's going to be about our time, it looks like.
We are rounding out the show. Carla, we
Chris,
want to thank you so much for being
gentlemen,
on the
thank
show.
you
We
so
hope you
much.
had a
Thank
good
you
time.
for coming
Carla.
on.
We'd love to have you back.
Great
Would you
guest.
come back?
Absolutely, anytime.
Awesome.
Just let me know.
We could have her as a guest host one week.
Right,
It would be
just-
nice. She adds to the show.
She's a natural, by the way.
She is. Good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
She
we
is
make
a natural.
sausage
Thank you,
before
Pat.
Right.
Yeah, let's make some cheap
Can we make
food.
still pizza ricotta?
Yeah.
Pink cotton
And we know she's not Italian.
Right.
She said
I was gonna
regatta.
say,
That's actually incorrect. My
Chasing
maiden
the
name is
that circle the
Tomisso.
lips.
There you go.
It's great that you can spell it, but can you say it?
Ricotta.